ladies, it's Ashley Varner back here again. I just wanted to share some ideas for you. Now that school is out for the summer, these are some Bible-based activities that you can use with your kids to help them grow in God's Word this summer. Okay, so we all know that we have to be intentional about teaching our kids God's Word, but one thing that I wanted to mention first off is that we forget sometimes that learning through play is the best way for kids to first learn God's Word, but also keep it in their minds. So things like songs and games and crafts and snacks, all those kind of great things are going to help your child not only start to understand the principles of God's Word, but those are the kind of things that kind of connect the dots in their minds and in their brains to help them see the truth of God's Word and see how they, which is most important, how they can apply God's Word to their hearts. So the first game that I wanted to tell you guys all about was the Fruit of the Spirit memory game. It's actually from Arrows and Applesauce, and so I'll leave a link below for you guys to all of these. But I wanted to share, I don't know about you guys, but my kids love memory games. They love, the competition of it. They love learning, finding things and remembering things. And at this stage, I would say like at 3 to 6 or 7 years old, they are really, their memories are starting to really develop, and using games like this are amazing. So we all might be familiar with the fruits of the Spirit, but whenever you turn those into a memory game, that is great. And there's a printable online on the link that I'll give you, so just make sure to check that out. Another great game that I found for kids is from Meaningful Mama, and it is the obedience game. It's really fun. What you do is you just get maybe print off a maze online, or if you have a book of activities that have mazes, and one child blindfolds themselves, the other child gives the blindfolded child directions on where to go. So if, they're saying go forward, turn to the left, with and having those children, even if it's a super simple maze, giving those kids the ability to listen and follow directions to complete the maze whenever they can't see anything. So there's a couple of other great games, and I'm going to leave a link. There's just too many to share. But if you go to churchleaders.com, and I will leave a link again below for you guys, so you can check those out. But there's tons of them. Just make sure that you look at them, figure out which ones are best for your kids. I also wanted to mention some object lessons, because learning, like I said, through play is really what helps kids be introduced to principles in the Bible. And with object lessons, sometimes those are going to be the things that your kids remember long after they might remember the principles or the truths that they're teaching. They're remembering the object lessons and how you brought God's Word to life. So a lot of times we think that object lessons are for kids pastors or, for the leaders or the people up on stage, but you can get a few things together. Maybe you already have some of these objects in your house, and you can start teaching your kids about God's Word. So I am going to leave a link. Again, it's from Meaningful Mama. It's about 20 Bible object lessons for you. Make sure that you get those. These are especially great for kids that love science or tactical learning, learning by touch and hands-on type of learning and education. I'm also going to leave some great links below for crafts and snacks and those kind of things, but I don't want to overwhelm you too much because there's so much great stuff. I mean, if you are a mom, you know that Pinterest is out there. You can search these things for yourselves, or like I said, use the links that I'm going to leave below so that you can really just start to see and be more intentional, I guess is the best way I can say it, about teaching your kids God's Word. Because if we just expect other people to do it, or if we just think they're going to learn it just at Sunday school, which those are great things. Take your kids to Sunday school. Take your kids to church. That's important. Trust me, they need that. But you also need to be aware that those things should be a supplement to you teaching your kids about God's Word. It is really up to us to be intentional, to be focused on what we're teaching our kids. And so, especially in the summer, whenever you hear teachers talking about reading and, staying up to date and making sure that the kids are still retaining all that information that they've just learned, let some of that be God's Word. your kids are really going to start to learn about God, about who He is. They're going to start to know Him at home. They're going to see what you do and want to do the same thing. They're going to want to follow in your footsteps. And so whenever you're at home with your kids this summer, whether you work full time or not, we're all going to be with our kids, spending more time with them now that they're not in school. Whenever you feel like you're at a wit's end, pull some of these ideas out. Help your kids to understand God's word and really start to use those times, sitting around the table to talk to them about the Lord. In Deuteronomy 6, it talks about how to talk about God's word all the time. So it says, talk to your children about God's word whenever you are walking along the road, when you get up, when you go to sleep, whenever you are in the marketplace, wherever you're at. Start to use those times to tell your kids about God's word. I know the last couple of weeks we've really been focusing on kids learning how to teach your kids about God's word, teaching them about the Bible. It's because that is really where my heart is. My home is full of kids. Right now there's 5 of them here, and they're between the ages of 7 and 3. And so you can imagine that we're busy. We have really full lives, and that is no excuse for making sure that we teach our kids God's word. So whether you have 2 kids, 1 kid, or 50 kids, it is important, and it really should be an urgent matter for you as a mom to really teach your kids about God's word. And I guarantee you that this is going to be something that's going to benefit them and you throughout your life. If you feel really overwhelmed, I want you to make sure that you head over to ashleyvarner.com, go to the blog, get all those great resources for you. If you want something a little bit more in depth, you can check out Mom Faith, which is a program that I made that has audio lessons for moms and ideas for prayer, ways to fill your own cup as a mom. So I would really check those out if you just feel like you need that extra encouragement and extra push towards really filling your cup first so that you can pour out to your family. But one thing I wanted to leave you with before I go is that God never expects you to raise the kids that He's given you without His help. He wants to help you. He sees where you are. He sees the kind of mom that you want to be, and He sees your kids. He knows your situation. And so He never expects you to do this without His help. So go to Him, talk to Him, use the Lord, use His strength, let Him be the one that you lean on through this whole process that we call raising kids, that is so crazy, that can be amazing and terrifying and overwhelming and stressful all at the same time. Know that God gave you those kids because He knew the kind of mom that you can be in His strength. So make sure that you are using Him, that you are going to Him, that you are relying on Him, and you will see a great difference in your kids this summer as you begin to pour God's word into their hearts. I will talk to you next time.